Talks classic rock. Q1043.
Very excited to welcome Stephen Wright back to our studio here at Q104.3. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm so excited for you because your novel Harold is now in paperback, and the fact of the matter is publishers don't put books out in paperback unless they were hits in hardcover, which means that your hardcover edition did very well.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
What do you mean you didn't know that?
No, I knew it did pretty good, but I didn't know they decides whether to put it out like that.
Oh yeah, if the hardcover flops, they don't bother with the paperback.
Great.
So this is a cool thing. Having a paperback is a sign of success.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for taking the time to write a book that actually created a situation about a week and a half ago that gave me great joy and fun.
A week and a half ago, what happened?
Well, I was sitting in a bar.
This is going to tie into...
I was sitting in a bar called The District on the Upper East Side. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting next to my friend Judy. And both of us had read your book.
Really?
And so we were discussing the character, Harold. You know, the 7-year-old third grader, and drinking wine.
Oh, fantastic.
And as we got deeper and deeper into a discussion of the book, we drank more and more wine.
An unusual side effect of that book.
Yes, and we found that we had different perspectives on the book the more wine we drank. And she said that she had at times an inability to discern whether at certain points in the book Harold's activities were real or whether Harold was imagining those things. And then we had a little bit more wine. And it was a very good conversation, and always fun to talk about a book, especially a good book that you can get into and that you can actually discuss because you take away different things from it. And then we drank a little more wine, and then I went home and went to sleep. And
that's fantastic.
It was really
Did you know Judy read the book, or was it a coincidence?
I knew she read the book.
It's amazing.
I knew she read the book, and it was a really great conversation about.
You had your own little book club in the middle of the bar.
Yeah, we had a book club in the bar.
2 people.
A book club in the bar.
Tell her I said hello.
I certainly. Maybe you just did. Hello, I don't know if she's listening or not, but maybe.
There's a couple people listening. So.
Yeah, it's not clear. It's not exactly clear. Is it imagining it or is it happening? I thought it was clear to me, but I knew it might not be clear to the reader, but I didn't really dwell on it.
So, in other words, she was right.
It can be looked at both ways. If she didn't see it clear, that's right. If you see it clear, that's right.
Oh, okay. So it's right either way.
Yes, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
But I think one of the things that was very interesting about her perspective, she didn't say she was confused.
Ah, that's interesting.
Okay, it's not a matter of being confused. She just saw a situation where, you know, the fluidity of Harold's experiences went back and forth between reality and some other sphere. And I'm more of a literal person, so I was coming at it from a different perspective. But we both read the same book.
That's fantastic. But now as I'm talking to you, I'm realizing that everyone in daily life, a lot of, is real stuff. And then you go in imagination. You're maybe not making up fake things, but you're imagining, well, I'm going to do this, I have to do that, I'm going to go call that. That's all like imagination, even though it's real subjects.
Right.
So everyone's going back and forth. I didn't even think of that till I'm talking to you.
And you know, it especially helps when you have conversations like that if the wine is really good.
What kind of wine was it?
Well, I was drinking Cabernet and she was drinking Prosecco.
I wonder if that altered the perception of the interpretation of the book.
Well, it could because it
This is
shows
a giant,
because
like, science experiment right
Because-
now.
well,
Science.
it shows
Study
it,
this.
It does show a complete difference in perspective if one is a Cabernet drinker, a meaty, full flavored red wine, or a Prosecco drinker, which is like kind of a sparkling champagne kind of thing.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the movie, and I'm going to drink a bunch of beer and see
Oh,
if that does
interesting.
anything.
You'll
Yeah.
have two things going on there. You'll have different alcohol, and you'll have the visual movie.
Yeah, I just want to be a part of it somehow.
Yeah, if there's any other mind-altering substances available to people, we might get even more interesting perspectives. But I wanted you to know, Stephen, that was the truth. I'm
love
not
it.
making.
I love
I
it.
couldn't make
I
up
love
that.
it.
I couldn't make up that story. That was about a week and a half ago,
Wow.
and then
I always wondered what you
then
did after
I
the show.
I came into work. And Trevor says, "Oh, Stephen Wright's coming up."
Multiverse, man. It's the multiverse.
It's interesting. I never thought of seeing it with any alcohol, and I don't even drink really. But as you're saying that, I'm thinking, well, what would that look? I know it's insane anyway. I mean, it's bizarre, extreme surrealism. So then, as you're saying that, I'm thinking, man, and then you add alcohol on that. Wow.
Which is really mind blowing.
It was fun. It was fun, and for me, it was kind of when you're talking with someone who has a different perspective on the same thing that you've read. It just adds to the kind of fun and joy of it. I mean, because it made me happy that I had read it. You know, and you know from your last visit how enjoyable it was.
Yes.
For me, because I could identify with the character. Not everyone can. They can, take a look at the experience of Harold, and maybe they can empathize with Harold, but not identify with Harold. I could identify with Harold
Because he's deeply in his own mind. He's deep, deep in. If his head was a cave, like, he's way back in there. And he's looking out of the front of the cave.
And when I was a young kid, I mean, there were.
Oh, yeah, it reminded you of some girl you knew in school, didn't it?
Yeah, that was one story. Yeah, we don't have to get into that story again.
No, I mean,
You see the
brought it.
trauma go across
No,
his face?
I'm just saying that you captured, obviously Harold is a very unusual character, but you captured some of the actual angst that goes through the head of a young kid in elementary school. You were able to do that. I don't know whether you made it up or whether you went into your own.
No, a lot of it was
Past.
based on real feelings and things, and then a lot of it isn't. A lot of it ricochets around. It's just, it's really one view of, everyone has a view of the world. So every angle on that is still coming out of my view, even though then you might just make a complete other opinion on something that's not even real.
This is reminding me of Rodney Dangerfield. Remember the movie Back to School, and he does a report about an author, and he actually has the author write it for him. The professor's like, he would never say this. You talking to him about his own book, and a completely different perspective makes me think of that.
Oh.
Well, I love books. I enjoy books.
You're a big book guy?
Yeah, I am.
You read quickly or what?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
I read for pleasure.
Yes.
Which I think is a good thing. And unfortunately, I've heard, while listening to discussions on television or reading articles in magazines, that reading for pleasure among young people today is, well, at maybe the lowest point since, Gutenberg figured out that movable type would make it easy to spread literature through the world.
Really, it's going less and less, huh?
Screens.
Didn't realize this.
Yeah.
Staring at screens.
Steve Gutenberg.
But holding a book in your hand and just enjoying yourself while you're reading it, like this one. Oh, I just opened up the page. This is so weird. Did you see me?
Yes,
I need someone.
I saw you.
I need someone
It's
to
on,
tell me.
it's on camera. No,
I
we
need
have it.
someone to
Acknowledge.
confirm that
Yeah.
I just randomly opened to a page
Yes,
and
I
looked, and
saw
these
that.
are the first words I see: the dark side of the moon.
Oh,
There you
look
go.
and look.
There you go. It's the only single poster
Oh
that
my
we have.
God.
We have a Dark Side of the Moon poster here, and we're giving away David Gilmour tickets this week. This is so bizarre.
This is multiverse, man.
The Dark Side of the Moon.
That's insane.
He decided to go that way, walking on and over and around rocks until he was in the shadow, and he kept going. The bird walked with him. It was dark, but not pitch dark. Everything looked like when you're on the earth and there's no moon. Those words, things like that, was a random couple of
I
sentences.
love it.
They come out of a fellow human being's head and are put down on paper. Now,
I'm
He's still blown
I'm
away by it.
videoing there's one poster in here,
that's
and
the
it's
only
that,
poster.
and you open it a random sentence.
Yep.
This would never happen in real life.
except this is real life. Just real quickly, because we're going to have to break here. I've talked to a lot of composers and lyricists, and some of them say that, a song will just come to them fully formed in their head, and they aren't even aware of how it happened. It's just there. They wake up in the morning and there's a song there. You are a famous comedian. You have some of the most incredibly funny lines that anyone has ever come up with. Ever.
Thank you.
Do they come spontaneously into your head, or do you have to put some time aside and work to create them?
It's all from noticing the world, really. I'll see a sign, or if someone will say something, I'll hear it wrong. Or like, it's just from. I think everyone's head is like a giant factory, really, and the subconscious is like working its ass off, and you don't even know it. So you might see some word, and then then you think, oh, that could be. There's a lot going on. I'm just noticing. I'm not walking down the street, and all of a sudden a joke that has nothing to do with what I'm thinking comes in out of my head. It's ricocheted from something I see, like the branches on a tree. Like one thing here, and then quickly, oh, there's a connection that isn't usually connected.
But like a classic line, like, if my car could travel at the speed of light, would the headlights work? I mean, where does it come from? I mean, that is just extraordinary. A physicist would not have thought of that. An astrophysicist would not have thought
Not
of
first. Not at first.
I don't know. I must have been. It wasn't like on nothing. Something about a light. I must have. It was clicked somehow. It was clicked, like you're saying. The musicians. It comes in from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it from nothing. I think it's connected. Even if it's connected subconsciously, then that appears to be nothing, because you might not know the connection subconsciously. So then it comes up like, oh, this just in, out of the blue, but there is really no out of the blue.
Okay, so it's basically observational, even if you're not aware of it.
Yes.
All right. Anyways, thank you for dropping
Thanks
by.
for having me. Great to
it
see
was,
you.
As usual, it was a thrill. Free Music Morning is coming up next.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.